tech together. This topic was pretty popular, and we got some really amazing speakers who I will actually let introduce themselves, but Koh from Google, Christine from Chartboost, and Tara from Zynga. I wanted to say Greek, where we work together, but time's passed. But yeah, if you guys could maybe give a little bit about you, maybe where you're from, how you got into gaming, and maybe just one totally random fact. I will start with myself. I recently learned to scooter, and it involved a lot of wee-ing. Like actually, I did that every time that I turned the acceleration. It was really exciting. I think for my entire class of people that were learning. That was cool. Anyway, Tara, do you want to start us off?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Tara, and my path to gaming has been a bit circuitous, or it was definitely not the shortest way here. I actually started out in college. I thought I was going to do biotech. I was working in science and working in a lab during the summers of college, and then I decided that I was too extroverted to work in a lab and I wanted to do something more interesting, and I then found my way into fashion. And so I had, like, my first career essentially was in fashion. I was traveling all over the world, to China and India, going to factories, designing garments, and it was a lot of fun, but being surrounded by women that were not very supportive can be really draining. And it was, Christine already said the devil wears Prada because she has a similar fashion experience, but that was also my experience. And like all that stuff in the movie and in the book is totally true. Seriously, totally true. And I mean, for all of you that have read Lean In, which I'm sure a lot of you have, women can be like the harshest to other women, and being in an environment like fashion that really, that culture that actually let something like that happen, and it is so deeply seated and deeply rooted in that culture, it's really tough to choose between being successful and being liked. And I didn't really want to have to make that choice anymore. It was exhausting. So I moved out to California, and then I sort of reinvented myself, and I thought, what's interesting? What can I do out here? And I wanted to do something more in marketing, and I thought games were really cool. I started consulting, and then I just sort of fell in love with games. And I started going from fashion. I really wanted like the dorkiest experience possible, so I dove into MMOs. So massively multiplayer online role-playing games. So I literally was like marketing, you know, sitting next to like dudes wearing socks with sandals, and I was loving it because no one was like commenting on my outfit or whatever. Obviously, I'm not that fashionable anymore, especially during this phase that's going on right here. Yeah, I totally fell head over heels in love with games. I worked in MMOs, and then I worked in social games, and that company was acquired by DNA, and then from there I moved on to Gree, where I worked with Hannah. So,
and I did comment on her outfit like all the time.
Yeah, so I did consumer marketing in the MMO and social space. I did developer marketing when I was at Gree, and now I'm at Zynga, and I'm doing channel marketing. So I work with people like Apple and Google, and so I sort of have this holistic view of all the different types of people in your ecosystem that you can market to, and I also have just a wide variety of gaming genre experience. And so, yeah, so now I'm all focused on mobile games, and mobile games are awesome and super fun, and yeah, I think it's way better than fashion. And yeah, thanks.
Cool. So your path was very all over the place, and mine I think is kind of like that, with one little outlier, but I'll get to that. So I'm Christine. I'm from Chartboost. I would say my career started off in fashion as well, so I was doing things like The Devil Wears Prada, like bringing coffee to Trina Turk, if anybody wears Trina Turk. It's so cute, right? Yeah, I got all the samples. It was great. So that was great. Did merchandising, did buying for a little bit, and then realized I felt like I wasn't really giving back in a bigger way. I felt like it was very narrow, and I thought, what else can I do? So I, at that point, was in Italy, and I was supposed to be working for a fashion PR company, and decided, actually, I'm going to work at a semiconductor company, and I'm going to code their entire website and translate the whole thing into English, even though I don't speak Italian at the time. And I did it, and it was amazing, and I learned how to do AdWords, and I learned how to do everything, and I taught myself code, and it was amazing. And then after that, I was like, okay, I could do anything I want. So I came back, then I joined Microsoft. I worked on the ad sales team there for a little bit. And then I decided, you know, you only live once, and if there's something that you're passionate about as well, you should follow your heart and do it. So I actually, wait for it, I quit Microsoft and I joined the circus. So, yeah, so I became a circus performer for about 2 years, and I loved it. And I came back, and the good news is that I had built such a strong network at Microsoft that when I came back, it was open doors everywhere. I had an offer at Facebook, I had an offer at Google, and then I decided to join AdMob, which was a mobile advertising company. So then I was there, and I worked on kind of all the different verticals, and I was very drawn to games because it was so numbers oriented, and they're always ahead, and they're always so smart, and I was very drawn to that industry. So that was AdMob, and then AdMob was acquired by Google, which was a completely different experience as well, and that's how I met Koh. And that was actually an amazing experience. I got to learn many different things, worked on different product teams, worked with Allison, and there I ended up being kind of the games and mobile expert because I had come from AdMob and was there at Google. After all that, I realized I miss working at a startup, so I knew about Chartboost. The founders at Chartboost actually came from Tapulous, which is a mobile gaming company. So has anyone played Tap Tap Revenge? Yes. Okay, awesome. It's like Dance Dance Revolution for your thumbs. Great game, great company. So they started this company called Chartboost from the eyes of a game developer. So it's very game-centric. So I joined pretty early. We were just discussing earlier that I think I was number 15, and now we're 110. And it's been an amazing experience. My role now is that I manage the biz dev and the sales team for the Americas, and it's been very, very rewarding because I've been able to bring friends from Google and from other companies, and we've basically grown a family. And it's very diverse as well. We're proudly 30% female at the company, which I think is pretty impressive in tech. And our founder is actually a female, and a young female at that. This is the first time I've been older than my CTO and my founder, but it's a great experience. So yes, that's how I got to where I am today. And thank you again for organizing this and having us.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds very impressive, but what did you do in the circus?
So I did flying trapeze and did aerial acrobats.
Wow. I have to tell you, my entire family over Christmas break, I showed them the video. Okay. And I loud checked my dad. So my whole family knows who you are.
Yep. Okay, that's great. had to ask. Awesome, thank you.
Maybe equally. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Koh. Probably noticed since the game industry is a pretty small world, so especially among females, we kind of all know each other, or only separated by 1 degree. And so, let's see, currently, where did I start? Mine was not that certain, to be honest. But I guess, like, how I started is I actually almost decided to do a PhD program instead of going into the real world, per se. And so, for all I know, I could have done quantitative marketing and game theory. And so, I would have been a total quant. Decided when I took an internship actually at Motorola, and I did a lot of their like marketing and kind of figuring out their social networking trends and like how consumer behaviors works, working with their kind of like their UX and consumer research team, I realized I was like, you know, like there's probably some cool things I could do in the real world, so I should probably check it out. Because I can always go back to academia if I didn't like the real world. And so I ended up working for a marketing consulting firm in Chicago. And then they were really focused on consumer segmentation and analytics. And so I hate to say it, but I've probably been responsible for Bud Light Lime taking Circuit City out of business and then telling Samsung to raise their prices by 30% and become the #1 LCD TV manufacturer in the world. But anyway, I have tons of fun stories regarding that.